Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault, and this is another Sunday episode for Top 10 MOCs of the Week. For those that don't know, MOC is an acronym for My Own Creation, and this is going to be following the top coolest LEGO builds that I happen to see. Also, stick around to the end of the episode where you guys, the fans, submit your own creations, and we kind of show them off in a montage style at the end. So anyways, let's start off with, I guess I'm going to number the MOCs this time, so let's start off with number 10. This is called Lazy Cat by Auto Reverse. There's a few reasons why I really like this build. I think the cat is very expressive, and in particular, the emotions really come through depending on the position of the cat. You can see a lot of different things kind of going on here, and that's not an easy thing to achieve with such few pieces. Also, I think it is definitely worth noting that this builder challenged themselves by just using parts from the Mighty Dinosaurs set, that is the creator set with the big T-Rex, and because of those limitations, it makes the build even more impressive. Now let's move on down the line. Number 9 is a classic Porsche 911 minifigure scale custom build. I think having the classic Porsche in black was a very good choice on the designer's part. And what's just so nice is that this thing is incredibly recognizable. I have a feeling it can seat a minifig. I'm not entirely sure. None of the pictures show a minifig on the inside, but regardless, I think there's just a lot of nice details to notice. The single round stud tile on the side for the door is a nice indicator for the handlebar. We have just the top part of the lever piece that shows the windshield wipers, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe those are actual custom revolver pieces that are technically not Lego. They might be from Brick Arms, and they make up the guards on the front and back of the bumpers. Of course, the most distinctive features of the Porsche are very prevalent. We have those tubes that lead in towards the front headlights, and a long and smooth curve that makes up the back hatch of the entire sports car. Here is a cross section of a red version of the Porsche, so you can see sort of what the interior and what the building technique was. And I don't know for sure, but this looks like it might have twice as many pieces as an average Speed Champion set car would have today. Now let's move on to the next build. Number 7 is the Bat Jewelry Box by Kail Frost. Now I don't know what it is about minifigure inspired builds, but I somehow always just have a soft spot for them. Maybe it's because I just like seeing people make something very, very unique based on a minifigure that is usually just put into a display case like we do here at the studio. But anyways, it's a wonderful build. It's fashioned in kind of like the old style that you would get from a very fancy music box with a spinning ballerina in the center, and of course it is the Fairy Batman minifig that we got from the collectible series not too long ago. There's a lot of gold ornate detailing all around the outer edges of the box, a very recognizable bat symbol in the front, and probably my favorite detailing of all is the slope pattern piece on the inside of the box top. And in case I didn't convince you guys enough thinking that it should have made the top 10 list, this is also a music box. It seems our builder gutted an older music box and set up the mechanism for it to work properly on the inside of this Lego one. Usually I just like showcasing builds that are only pure Lego, but I thought this box definitely deserved to be an exception. Okay, jumping on through the list. Number 6 is this Lars Homestead Diorama with the Imperial Shuttle. Our builder is KW Vauban, and this is kind of just a 2-in-1 build, really, because not only do we have this nice Lars Homestead open diorama sort of desert area, but we also get a wonderful build for what looks like an Ultimate Collector Series style Sentinel class Imperial landing shuttle. This is very much the sort of troop transport variant compared to what we have as a standard Imperial Shuttle, and I think after looking a little bit more closely at this build, we have a very similar build style from what was made out of the Ultimate Collector Series Imperial Shuttle set. Anyways, the building is great for the Lars Homestead, and I think what really strikes or hits home for me is this depicts a moment in the Star Wars universe that you know must have happened, but never was actually shown on screen. Or at least this is an interpretation of what could have possibly happened. It's sort of a in-between the scenes kind of scene, and I think it was executed very, very well. All right, and number 5 is one of the Febrovery builds. In the month of February, they try to fit the word rover in there. Basically, a lot of LEGO builders are building rovers. This one in particular is called Blue Cab by Sad Brick. What I think puts this build on the map over so many of the other rovers is the fact that it is not just the rover that we have as the build, but also the incredible alien backdrop that makes up its surroundings. The rover itself has a lot of sort of nice mechanical light bluish gray detailing for the most part. The larger treads in the back I think really give it a fun sort of shape, and of course it's called Blue Cab and it has just a few trans blue highlights. Now there's a particular detail in this build, my favorite detail, and it doesn't actually have anything to do with the blue cab, but instead it's the tread tracks that are left in the soft ground behind the vehicle. I think those bricks are technically called log bricks because if you stack them on top of each other it looks like logs that are being built up that make up a cabin or something, but when put parallel to the ground and in that nice light tan color, it leaves a perfect track imprint. This is more than just a great looking rover build, but really a great looking atmosphere and rover together in an alien environment. Now, on top of it being the rover building month, there was also a speeder bike contest, so a lot of LEGO builders, maybe even more LEGO builders, were building speeder bikes this month than even rovers. So our number 5 was a little speeder bike called X-Dragon 8C by Guy Smiley. Once again, this is a vehicle set within a very interesting backdrop. We've got some sort of split up road. It doesn't look like any normal vehicle could possibly drive there because there's way too many gaps, maybe more gaps than regular ground, but there is also this sort of wonderful contained feel to the speeder bike. Bionicle armor is what makes up the front, back, and bottom. It kind of rounds off and really capsulates the entire shape of the ship, and you can tell there it is speeding along, leaving some sort of glowing trans green chemtrails, and we even have some binoculars in the front, which I'm going to assume are guns and not headlights. I also like that little neck bracket piece that's turned around towards the front and has a number 4 on there. It looks like maybe a racing bike or a racing jacket, sorry. And I actively encourage you guys to check out everybody's Flickr. I have left links, of course, to all the builders in the description below, but here are a couple of the other bikes that Guy Smiley also did this month. Moving on down the list, number 4 is Admiral Ackbar by Oaken. I have seen a lot of very, very expressive and very detailed LEGO faces, but I believe this builder found the perfect parts at the perfect scale to really make a wonderfully accurate version of this character. A Mon Calamari face is not in any way, shape, or form an easy thing to pull off, even if you're drawing it or sculpting it or building it out of LEGO, but it seems our builder has just hit the nail on the head. This looks better than anything I would have expected. Even at a larger scale, I feel like it would be very, very difficult to get all the little sort of bits of flesh and the folds in the skin to kind of overlap and also feel proportional at the same time. Right, and let's switch on over to number 3. This is called Island of Catan by Simon and H. If you're guessing, I believe, yes, this is a build based on the game Settlers of Catan, but you don't have to be familiar with that at all in order to appreciate the building that's going on here. There are a lot of wonderful techniques used for creating the building structures, and the structures themselves look great, but I think I'm just going to focus for now on the way the water was put together. That is a unique style, and I haven't seen it done quite like this before. All of the studs run perpendicular to the tabletop, and the detailing that show waves or ripples in the water are actually some of those great pieces, and you can also see the depth of the water based on the different color blues that were used. But other than that, it is a perfectly flat surface. Upon closer inspection, we've got croissants and teeth pieces used to show the sort of rippling white water in front of the boat, and then as it moves towards the creek, you can see there is detailing that shows mud that turns kind of into green algae or swampland. The transitions are seamless, and just when you think you've seen every way somebody can possibly make water in LEGO, just water, you find a builder that does it differently. Alright, and we're moving on to number 2 for top 10 mocks of the week, and I've got the Sharks in Space. This is another Febrovery build by Frost. I could go on about how I like this build, but honestly, Frost has been putting together a build a day. I'm pretty sure it is a rover a day for maybe the entire month of February. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I highly suggest that you check out the Flickr page because there's a lot more cool, fun, creative builds, just like the ones that you're looking at right now. And all right, here it is, the #1 top mock of the week, at least in my opinion, is titled, "You Gotta Kill a Lot of Frogs to Find Your Prince" by Iain Heath. Or at least that was the tagline provided. This is a depiction of Jabba the Hutt getting strangled to death by Princess Leia. She's still in her slave Leia costume. And I honestly thought the figure was built by another Lego builder that has a very similar style, but you can see here that there is quite a lot of expression going on with Leia, and she is detailed in a somewhat comical way. The croissant pieces are used for her brassiere, and I like the simple technique used to show the flowing of the cloth. Now, I really think Jabba the Hutt is kind of the star of the build. He is a massive, giant, studded slug, and quite a nice shape was created out of all of those bricks. But really my favorite part is the sort of kind of goofy and grotesque face that he's making as he's getting choked. It's kind of hard to feel bad for this guy. And if you rewatch Return of the Jedi, I think you're gonna see an almost identical expression that he makes at some point during this scene. All right, and to finish off the end of the episode, I'm gonna show you some of our fan mocks. Everything that is flying by on the screen right now is submitted from you guys, the fans. If you want to submit your own fan mock creations, I've left a link in the description below that details sort of the format that we like and the email to use. I know a lot of people send me Facebook messages and stuff like that. It comes in at really low quality, so please don't send me them on Facebook. Try the email in the description below. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking now. Thanks a lot for watching, and check out the fan mocks.